If I were to be asked whether the volunteers will be going to heaven, I'd have to say I hope so, because I've been one myself for many years. But the volunteers at Braille Institute are an integral part of the whole program, because they not only help in classes and in mobility and in teaching classes, but also they are used to read for college students, to record, to do a myriad of things for the Braille Institute. So they are certainly wanted, they are certainly appreciated, and as to whether or not they're going to go to heaven, I'm sure that they will.
Are you feeling a little nervous about working with a blind person? Well, you need not be, because really we're no different than anyone else. And this is why we've done the video today, because we want you to feel at ease working with all types of people. And just to show you this, I would like you to close your eyes for a minute. You got your eyes closed? Now, are you any different than you were before? The answer should be no, because you are still that same person. The only difference is that you see and I cannot.
My sleep won't come the whole night through. Your cheating heart will tell on you. Your cheating heart.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you Cheryl McManus?
Sure am. Have a seat.
Thank you. I'm Gene Knight. I'm a brand new volunteer. I have never worked here before. I've never worked with the blind before, and so I wanted to learn. They told me that you could be a good teacher for me and teach me what to do and what not to do.
I'll do my best, and you make a great guinea pig, by the way.
Well, okay, I'm happy to be a guinea pig. Okay, well, just to get started right off the bat, for a new volunteer, for someone who is completely green in this whole thing, what are some of the things I should not do right off the bat?
Well, I guess off the top of my head, one of the biggest pitfalls with a new volunteer is maybe over-helping the student, whether that be in the crafts class, whether that be in typing or in Braille or ceramics, any of those types of classes. I think that's a tendency sometimes to help, but helping is good, but over-helping is too good. Sometimes the project is taken out of the student's hands and becomes all of a sudden the volunteer's project. And I think it's very important that you not remember that, because what happens is that person originally has initiative, and when you take that out of their hands, after time they will lose their initiative, and pretty soon we'll take it for granted that that person will do everything for them. And you don't want that to happen, and because it carries over into all aspects of their lives.
I can see that to be the case, all right. Incidentally, you've got a beautiful guide dog here. What's his name?
His name is Andy.
Hey, he's a beauty. Can I pet him?
Well, thank you for asking, but it's best not to pet a guide dog while he's working. And you can tell if a guide dog is working by, even when he lays down, by the way, he's still working when he has a harness on. When he has the harness on, he is just a puppy like any other puppy. But what happens is the dog is distracted, and it becomes dangerous for the blind individual, because the dog forgets he's a guide dog and starts being a pet when he's out on the street, and it's easy to get hit by a car because he's not paying attention to what he's supposed to be paying attention to.
Well, could I feed him something maybe, just to let him know that I'm a friend?
Well, I hate to disappoint you. I know how everybody loves to feed dogs, but that's a no-no also, because recently I guess there has been a few bad accidents where the dog was given a tainted piece of meat and the dog was killed.
Oh, no.
Also, you don't want to encourage your dog eating out of someone's hands or at the table, because if you think about it, a guide dog has to go into many public places, which a pet dog does not have to do that. And I would be awful embarrassed if the dog were to walk into a restaurant and nab someone's steak off their plate or something like that. I wouldn't want to go back in that restaurant again, believe me.
I wouldn't either.
So don't feed a guide dog.
Okay, well,
you want him to have good manners, too.
What about feeding you? How about a cup of coffee or a little snack or something?
I would love a cup of coffee. Yes.
All right, let's go on and get something to drink.
Great, let's go.
All right. let me help you here if I can.
Okay,
Huh?
okay, let me show you how the best way. I'll start at the beginning.
Oh, all right.
Best way to do. A guide dog is always walking on the person's left side. So I'll put Andy to my left side,
Oh, all
he'll
right.
cross to my right side,
Okay.
and I will be holding onto his leash. That means the guide dog will not be guiding at this point. I will grab your elbow,
Huh?
and that way, as we're walking, you'll notice that will be slightly in back of you.
Yeah.
That way, if we crash, you'll get it first.
Oh, thanks a lot. Okay. This isn't too difficult, I'd say.
No?
Okay, but is this the only way that you handle, somebody helping you like this?
Okay, there's one more technique. Say, for instance, you're going through a narrow doorway or through some chairs. The best thing to do is to bend your elbow, put it behind your back. Here, show it like this. Put it behind your back, and the person will grab your hand, and he will be slightly in back of the guide and walk behind him. That way, you are on a narrow, alignment with each
Right.
other. Now, when the area gets wide again, you bring your arm back, and the person will come back to the side position. And also, sometimes a person with a dog might want to walk alone, and so what I will do is I will drop my arm, I will grab the leash, I will grab the harness, and I will let you walk ahead of me, and I will give Andy the command, Andy, forward, and he will follow you.
Oh, I see.
So it's really simple. And then if I want to stop, I can always grab your arm, let go of the harness, and walk with you in the original sighted guide technique.
Someone's sitting there, but okay, here you are. There's a chair right there.
Where?
Right. Well, right
Here,
there.
here, I'll show you. This is the easy way. Give me your hand.
There you are.
Okay, what you do, the best thing to do is to take my hand and put it in contact with the chair,
All right.
so that I know where I'm facing in relation to the chair, to the back of the chair or to the arms
Oh,
of the chair.
that's the back.
Okay,
yeah.
the back.
And there are no arms on the chair, so you don't
Okay.
have to worry about that part.
Great. Okay, come on, Andy. Sit. Down.
Cheryl, is that you?
Yeah. Good
Oh,
to see you.
hi, it's
Bert.
Burns. How are
Good to
you?
see you. Andy, sweetie, no. Leave that alone. This is a good friend of mine. He just started out at Braille today. His name is Gene. He's a new volunteer.
Gene, how you
and
doing?
Gene, this is Burns.
Oh,
Burns,
wait,
this is Gene.
wait, he's not here. He's gone.
Gene.
Oh.
Gene, get back over here. I was introducing you. You
I'm
need to
sorry.
stop.
I went out to get some cups. I thought we'd get a little coffee or something to drink.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds
Hi.
good.
Hi, Gene. I'm
Gene.
Burns.
Nice to meet you, Burns.
Sorry, I was carrying on a conversation. You weren't even standing there. So, what
Is this
did you
guy
get?
new, Cheryl? Or?
Yeah, he just started at Braille, and he's kind of new at all of this.
Here we are. I got us some coffee.
Oh,
And
great.
thought we'd have a little sip of coffee if I can get it here.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. And that's some for me. And that's for my new friend Burns. And
Thank you.
That's okay.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, my.
God, it's all over the
Yeah.
floor.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I'm
golly.
sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I
That's
didn't know.
okay. That's okay. It's my fault.
I didn't know you put it down yet.
Oh, golly. Well,
I'm sorry. Here,
You'll
don't
just-
worry about that. I'll take care of it.
okay. You want to get some more?
No, that's fine. I don't need any.
You don't need it?
No, I
Well,
don't need any. I didn't know you set it down.
You know, it's, well, I should have told you. I can see now that that's one of the things that I've got to learn when I'm around here is to kind of do a little bit more,
Actually,
I don't know, letting people know what's going on.
Actually, I knew you set it down, but I didn't know exactly where. So, what you might want to do is take a hold of the cup
Yeah.
and hand it to me.
Well, let me try that. Okay, I got the cup.
And then take my hand and then
And
just put it in contact with the cup.
like that.
That way there's no guessing. Hey, I have a little left.
You have a little left in there, right? Okay.
Or, Gene, you can also give her like an audible little knock on the table where the cup is. So you can
Yeah, that works.
focus on the sound.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you both for that. I mean, I've learned something already, you know?
Welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah.
You're entitled to mistakes. I mean, gee, it's your first day. And
Okay, well, I brought you a little pie snack here in case you wanted. I'll try to do it right this time.
Very good.
In case you want a little something to kind of tide you over,
Yeah, I
as it
haven't had
were, a
lunch
little
yet,
energy. Okay.
Sounds good.
Well, as Cheryl said, Burns, I'm brand new at this business of working with blind people, and I've come in recently to do some recording, you know, the books and so forth, and that's how I have come to be here at Braille Institute, but
Great.
I've had almost no exposure to working with people who don't have their sight, and so I've got an awful lot to learn, and I hope that you and Cheryl will help me to learn what to do and what not to do, and I think that's as important as anything, is what not to do, because a lot of people seem to think that they have to do a lot of things that maybe are annoying to you all, and so I want you to help me to understand those things. And
Well, basically, Gene, you can, I think, to start with, if you just, your attitude ought to be like, just to assume that the blind person that you're working with knows, you know, what they want done and how they want it done, and assume that they're independent and capable and responsible to start with, and then if they aren't, you can, you'll find out.
That kind of reminds me of a situation. Well, I've had many situations, but this one particular situation. I was downtown LA, and I was getting ready to cross the street, and this lady, this little old lady, came up to me, and she was very insistent on helping me cross the street. And I said, no, don't worry, ma'am, I'm fine. I can make it across the street fine, don't worry. And she insisted. It's like she had to do her little good deed for the day, I suppose. And I didn't want to discourage her, because maybe next time a blind person might really need the help. So I decided to take her up on her assistance, even though I didn't need it. So she took me across the street to the opposite corner, and there I stood for about 15 minutes waiting for the woman. I just was hoping that she walked away and didn't see me, because, and what had happened is it wasn't the right corner I wanted to go to. I wanted to cross in a different direction, so I waited there for 15 minutes, and I finally crossed back to my original location, and then crossed in the direction and went on my way.
You learn to compensate for that. Like I figure about 80% of the time when the person says left, they mean right. So I just naturally cue myself to go the opposite way. But then once in a while, they do make the switch, and you look like a real dummy. You know, you pick yourself up, and the guy says, "I said left." I said, "Yeah, but I thought you meant right."
But Burns, what happens if they're really right?
Are there things that that volunteers do, other than grabbing you when you're not expecting it or something like that, that are particularly annoying, or we should avoid at all costs?
Yeah, I think what basically you need to focus on is that a blind person responds most readily and most comfortably to audible signals, that is verbal signals, so that when you're describing something, you don't say, "Oh, it's right over there," because there is
very vague.
Yeah, that's off in space somewhere. But if you say it's right directly in front of you, about a foot in front of you on the table, or it's just beyond your right elbow, and give some reference to me so that I know I can refer my location to whatever it is that I'm trying to find. And also, by the same token, when you're speaking to a blind person, it's helpful, particularly if, let's say, you've only met that person, you've only known them for a short while, to identify yourself to the blind person and say, "Hi there, Cheryl, it's Gene."
It's Gene.
How are you?
Yeah. But I think many people, myself included, would like to assist where we can, but we just don't know how to go about it gracefully.
Yeah.
And certainly we don't want to insult anyone or in any way be obnoxious, but when you come up and say you're at the corner of 6th and Main, it could be exactly the wrong thing to say. As you say.
Yeah.
Well,
give us credit. You know,
Yeah,
we come
right.
back to that same thing. Give the blind person the credit of being intelligent, of being capable, of being independent, all those same qualities that you look for in yourself.
Daddy played the guitar and the French harp. Mama played the ring and tambourine. Mama couldn't hear our pretty music. She read our lips and helped the family sing. Our little band was all the means of living, our only means of living at the time. But it wasn't like no normal family combo, 'cause Daddy Frank, the guitar man, was blind.
Daddy Frank played the guitar and the French harp. Sister played the ringing tambourine. And Mama couldn't hear our pretty music, but she read our lips and helped the family sing.
I'm a Braille Institute student, and what I think of volunteer services, well, to start off, I'm a Los Angeles City College student, and the volunteer service office has really helped me with having a lot of fantastic people there who can be there when you need them to help you with whatever your needs are. The volunteers, I believe, will go to heaven because they are dedicated. They are the people that really do believe in the service, that want to help the blind, that want to help the visually impaired. They're just all around good people. And I'm thankful that I'm a part of such a great institution.
The Braille Institute brings volunteers out more because this is a place that you start out equal, no matter if you're blind or you have a hearing problem or any kind of handicap, because everybody's even. Everybody's starting out even. Nobody looks at you different. Nothing. And a volunteer is a person that loves his or her work. I mean, they'll volunteer and they'll do anything. And that's one of the, and like I said, one of the greatest feelings is to help somebody, because you really help yourself.
I believe that we live sometimes in a world that does not understand what it is to be visually impaired. They think often that we are something that is different, unusual. When it's not that way, we are only individuals that are living in a society without sight.
Hear our pretty music, but she read our lips and helped the family sing. That little band was all a part of living, and our only means of living at the time. And it wasn't like no...
Volunteers go to heaven, heaven, heaven.